up again. Still, oh, here we go. So, a router. And another router. More than one router. Hopefully people realise that something happened there. Ew, bugger. Hello, sorry about that. Don't know what happened. It suddenly told me that the video was over. Slowly wait for people to refresh and find us again. I do apologise for that. I don't know what happened. No. That's what I like about my... Welcome back. Sorry about that, guys. I really am. I don't know what happened. It just gone. It's one of the things I prefer about using my PC. My PC is on the Ethernet. I've actually got the cable that runs to that particular computer. It doesn't use Wi-Fi. It's connected into the actual block, into my router, and I do apologise for that. It's probably the fact that I'm using Wi-Fi and lost it. Anyway, okay, so a laminate trimmer, small hand-driven. I think this is a 500 or a 750 watt, but it's perfect for running the blades over, which is why I've actually got it set where you can see like there's the width of a blade, because I've been using this to route the part I need for the blade to sit in to make knives. Handy things. I've got a couple of these. I think I've got one more which is bigger again, but that one's connected up to my routing table. So handy things routers, not only for genuine woodwork, but really handy to use when you want to remove flat pieces or get them. I do apologise for the dropping out. I'm glad most of you here. No, that's all right, George. Yay, I'm back. Yes. Okay, so laminate trimmers. Then we go. We've done those. Right, we've done that and done that. Right now, of course, a power file. Again, a lot of these things come in really handy when you are removing tool marks, getting into awkward places. This thing was expensive, but very, very handy. Does small belts. Bloody good thing, really. I haven't used this one particularly much recently, but then that's because I've been doing all the small carvings with the knives and stuff. So there we've got power files, different bands and stuff. Now this little bugger, this is the bigger version of the Dremel. At the moment I've got this blade in it. Come on, focus in. No, you're going to focus in now? Show the bloody little bits. Come on, thank you. So this one's only got, it's flat on the top, all it's got is the side, so really you're looking at a rabbit. Being able to cut grooves, lines, handy thing. Now that's a Sabertooth again. Now this thing is really, it's kind of like the brother of the routers. It works on the same principle, except for, of course, you've got no housing to be able to keep it steady. This really just works like a router. Now, this thing here, I've got lots and lots and lots. Good. Most people have got back here. I do apologise for the dropout. Don't know what happened. Yellow on yellow. Good choice, Colin. Yes, so that's a Sabertooth. Now, this thing, this spins at 15,000 revolutions, whereas the routers, they run at about 20 to 25,000 revolutions per minute. This one does about 15,000, so it's a tough tool. Touch yourself with this, you lose flesh. I mean, it just cuts through gum. Oak is like matchsticks, basswood, just runs. Now this thing has got lots and lots and lots and lots of gadgets. So this is where I start talking about some of the burrs. You've seen that one. Now this is about the biggest saber-tooth burr I've got. That's for a nice flat edge. I've used it a few times. You can see the discoloration. This thing goes in there. Meaty tool. Now I've got this one. The green one is medium, and the yellow one is fine. So on the wood, this one will remove these teeth marks, but leave littler, smaller teeth marks. So you've still got to grind out after this one. So how do you do that? Well, you've got they're the big ones for nice flats. Then you have, oh sorry, I'm just looking at which ones. Okay, these ones, these two red ones, they're Fordham. They do the similar thing to the saber-tooth, but Fordham make them as well. They're about the same price. A ball is basically a gouge. The burrs always work really as kind of gouges. If you use a flame-shaped one, that's just that's a bull-nosed saber-tooth one, a bigger version of the pointy one, and the ball. Right, so what we have here is, this is a smaller bull-nosed. That is rough. You can see how big the little CNC cut burr parts are. A lot of the terms for these I actually don't know. The pointy bits. That is a rough. That's a coarse. That one there is a mid. That's a mid one. When I was buying these to keep the price down, I basically bought green ones because the middle range is the best of the range. It does slowly what the orange one, the coarse one does, the orange one, but it does just evaporate the woods. This is good for up to 24,000 revolutions per minute, so I could put router if I needed to. I haven't yet because I've got all the router tools and I haven't needed this within the router, but they would go in there. So that's a what's it say here? Oh, it just says the product number and coarse grain. These are all saber-tooth made in the USA. Lovely tools. So that one there and that one there, you can see the difference in grading. That one's coarse, that one's mid, and then I've got the fine one. These, as I said, are all new. Haven't used any of these yet. So these you can get in 1/8 size, so you can get them to fit the Dremel. I'll get to them in a minute. These act like a V-tool. They are called a flame burr, and they basically work like a V-tool and a gouge. They've got a combination of both. Very handy tools. And then, of course, like the Fordham, the little bull-nosed one, I've got a larger version, the green one. I don't have an orange one in that. I don't have a coarse one in that, and a mid-grade one. Again, haven't used yet, but these have just come to me. And the set of smaller flame burrs. Like I said, I mean, you've got your pointy bit at the end, so you can get a nice fine line, or you've got the bulk at the bottom to work it as a burr. So this is basically a V-tool and a burr combined for power. Now, there are some other gadgets that you can get for a normal hand drill, which I didn't bring one out, but these things, that goes on this way round, or I can do it the other way, so it's domed or concaved or concave. This one goes on it as well. That goes on the stem. I have to take the stem off and change these over, which I don't have a stem for each. These are rough and good for shaping. They come from a tire. when tyres are buggered, they go to a repair place and somebody grinds out the old rubber where maybe a cut is, and they replace it with liquid rubber, and that's how they repair tyres. Well, these come from tyre repair place. I actually got these off Shane Christensen, the chainsaw carver, and they go with it. They're like coarse and thinner. They're very coarse. They chew wood out. They're really good for shaping. I quite like them. That was a good score, that was. Right now, this is an 8. I've got 2 of these. I've got one that's a ball, and I've got this one, but I've misplaced the ball when it's gone into my room jar where I put it safe, and it's so safe I don't know where it is. This is the one that fits the Dremel. They're really handy. Let's scroll for a minute. Yeah, back. Where's the name of the tool? That is, what's the name of the tool that is like the big Dremel? That's called a die grinder. It's actually a it's basically one of these, but instead of sideways, it's straight out. That's the only difference between, say, that one and the Bosch is better. There's the Bosch. Bosch. That's not a Bosch. That's not a Bosch. That one's a Bosch. It's buried. That one's a Bosch. So yeah, when you look at these, they're basically the same tool, but functioning forward, functioning sideways. Pretty good tool. Now, the other thing that you can use when you're using hand drills, electric hand drills, there's a range of burrs that are like this. Again, shaping. They do cone, straight, and ball. And these are just rough burrs, really handy. They are less violent than the saber tooths. The saber tooths just chew through wood. These munch, they have a nibble. So using them, quick work. These ones slower. Work very well on hardwoods. Right, so they're the burrs. That's a drill and a burr, enabling you to elongate slots. Another handy tool. Then, okay, we go to Dremels. I've got cheap ones, not Dremels. One with a flex on it, make life easier, and one with a polisher, and one that I think is set for 1/16 burrs. Dremels are very handy. They, oh boy, from being able to shape with the saber tooths, and then using the sanding, what do you call them? The word's completely gone. A drum, sanding drum. That's the word. I have to think. I haven't done this one before, where I've shown all my power tools. For the Dremel, these ones that I showed you for the drill, you can get. I think I bought these off eBay, and they were about $6 or $7. The same sort of thing as you've just seen for the drill, you can get them for the Dremel as well. These are just, they do exactly the same as these for shaping. It's so much easier to do hand tools. Then of course with the Dremel you can go to the point of the carbides for removing less wood, or for your softer woods, a couple of carbides. I'll just make sure I don't put these where I lose them, because they're really easy to lose. And then of course I've got a set. I bought a set that enables me to do really fine work. I can frost glass with these. I can engrave with them, but there's just another set that you can get for Dremels. And I'm done. I didn't bring out the bandsaw. I didn't bring out the scroll saw. I didn't bring out the table saw. They're my big tools for cutting up normal, regular shaped, squared pieces, squared off pieces of wood. Not very good for logs or anything like that unless you fix them to a board. I didn't bring out my drill press, and that's about the limit of my power tools. So sorry about losing the signal. Excellent bits. Yep. Oh, you're turning into a reptilian now. Then which one I need for my spoons? Okay, for your spoons, what you really need is, for your Dremel, that shape, but a saber tooth. So it's got the little spiky bits, or you can do with them with a ball. That will do it. There's a few different shape ones of these. I didn't bring them all out because I've got a load of them and they're all sitting in the place where they live. But Corey, you'll be looking for the saber tooth ball, or even the carbide ball to carve out for spoons. When I did my spoon, I used a ball, and like I made a spoon in 20 minutes from start to finish. That was from the cutting out the shape on the scroll saw to using that to make the bowl. 20 minutes, whereas with the knife it took me 8 hours, but I did it. And okay, let's have a look. Clever. I wore my Dremel one out like that. Hard to find another. Okay, saber tooth. I'll put the link up afterwards. Saber tooth. I think it's sabertooth.com is their website, and the 8th Shanks is where you'll find all the little shapes you need. What a pathetic cigarette. Did you see that? I bet I can't get the bloody thing back in. Oh, I lied, I can. Just hope it don't fall out again. I know, disgusting habit. So Fordham or Sabertooth both do similar type of rapid wood removal tools. A ball burr, yes. Hypertough is the generic brand Dremel. I have it. It's electric, $18. Look, there are so many non-branded. You're welcome, Corey. There are so many non-branded Dremels. Dremel is just like Coca-Cola, where there's lots of different types of cola. You can have Pepsi if you like. That's like Fordham and Sabertooth. The brands. Buying a brand, is it worth spending extra money? No. You get what you pay for in hand tools. Yes. Power tools, I think Dremel are so overpriced. Makitas are so overpriced. Then you start getting into, what's the yellow one, DeWalt. The cost of them is just astronomical. Do you get the quality? They haven't been around for 20 plus years and still working, so we don't know. My generic brand Dremels, the one with the flex is relatively new. I bought that one about 3 years ago, I suppose. The other ones are 10 years plus. They just don't break. If they do break, usually you have a 3-year warranty. So if you have a problem, you're usually able to return them. G'day, John from the best place to live, South Wales. I don't know. I wouldn't say brilliant place to live, South Wales. Hello, Welsh boy. Hello, Boyle. That's just mean, isn't it? Oh dear. Okay, so yeah, that's the rundown on the power tools. Good. There's a rotary Derek's put up for you. They're the power tools now. Scale. Using these, anything from about 1 foot upwards. I prefer now. It's funny. I used to use the power tools all the time, and I was always doing big carvings. But of course, I don't sell them. So slowly, my house fills up with more and more and more carvings. I've got ones on the go which I haven't touched in ages. Ow! There's one. again, look at the scale of it. Like, we wouldn't do something this big with knives and gouges. You can use the gouges, of course, for the finer details, but you have to use a mallet behind it because this is red gum, and has had to be done with power. And eventually, I've got a hand that's got to come out here, and pointy hand. But yes, this is about scale. So if you're doing bigger carvings, then you need bigger tools. I know with gum you can use a hammer, a mallet, and it will, but you're forever sharpening. Gum is bloody hard. Oak is about half the. I think oak is about half the Janka testing. Hello, Boyle. Thank you for putting up the Sabertooth link, Tammy. You put some random letters too. Pete, you're such an idiot sometimes. Clever idiot. But like, oh, I missed one too. I might as well show you all of them. And then, of course, you got your let go, hand sander, mouth sander, really handy. That one's I don't know, like that's a battery one, and it's a pain in the ass, to be quite honest. I prefer hardwired. Yeah, it means you can't do work elsewhere, but at least the battery never runs out on you. I think my ex-missus said that about, no, don't, one go there. Yes, just other tools that are a burr, 2-inch burr. I got that one from the plumber. I don't know where they originated from, but yes. So there's a whole range of power tool stuff. I mean, this is just my collection as I use a power carver, and now I've gone over to knives and gouges, and I understand the process a lot more. But using power tends to be excuse me. Using power tends to be more chaotic. It works so quick, the burrs just chew out so quick that you lose the capacity for the detailing that you can do with hand tools. It's why 12 months ago I switched over to knives. I didn't think it was right to run a beginner's wood carving group and be a power tool carver. It wasn't something I could really share. I could share my work, but use of these tools are the use of the tools are pretty meaty. Power gouges, any good? Like I said, I got a power chisel, which has gouges. It's got a gouge, it's got a V tool, it's got a straight chisel blade, and there's a fourth blade. Big gouge, big V tool, big flat. That's the other one. So, mine didn't work. They were useless, but it turns out that I didn't sharpen the tools. So maybe I've seen lots of other people. I mean, the tool is about $300, I think, from Arbortech, and I was very disappointed with that. To the point where I actually took it off the grinder, but then I found out sharpening the blades would have made a hell of a lot of difference. So yes, I actually think that Sarah's right. I would say power gouges are not that good. Drifted back to hand tools. Yes, I mean, as much as I can, save your money, learn from my mistake. Yes, yeah, that's the same for me, Sarah, to be quite honest. G'day, Anita. Very late for you. I know this has nothing to do with what you're talking about, but I wanted everyone to know I started therapy on my hand. Been 3 weeks now, not much improvement happening. Just wanted to share. Well, look, we've all got our prayers for you, Corey, and our fingers crossed and wishes that everything turns out. It sucks when you have an injury, especially when it's one of your hands. Makes it very difficult to to do anything. Like to drill holes, I've been using the hand brace drill from the early 1900s my grandfather used to use. Yep, I've actually got a brace sitting aside, a hand one. They're hard to get these days. Everything's power tools. You go into a hardware store and look for hand tools, and here in Australia they're minimal. Lots and lots and lots of power tools, lots of drills and attachments and stuff, but pretty hard to get hold of just a normal old-fashioned, like the egg whisk thing from the kitchen, just a hand drill and a brace. The brace is brilliant for doing mortising, brilliant. So yeah, I understand that, Derek. Oh, you can't sleep, carving and watching you on live. Thanks, Anita. Did good years ago, that's why I have a Dremel. Yeah, that's good for it. Gouges for the bolt. Wood. Burrs round off the gouge marks. Back to detail gouges for details. Yes, absolutely. Does anyone done power tools on gourds? Yep. Okay. Brace and bit. Brace and bit. Yep. 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 Got one. I've just been enjoying hand tools lately. I seem to appreciate my work more. But yeah, same. To do a live on the power tools this week is because I haven't done a live on power tools, and power tool carving is carving. In my mind, yes, there is the traditional way of carving where power isn't there, but they didn't have what we have available to us now, and the technology has moved on. And look, I mean, we're up against CNC machines that can spit out what we do basically in seconds and mass produce, but there's no real I made that in that. So for me, 12 months ago, I bought my first set of flex cuts. They were the only knives available to me. I actually put away my very first knife that I made. It was terrible. It really was. I sharpened the wrong side. Handle way too bulky. I cut a groove for the piece of wood, for the metal, and although I had one pinhole in it, I only used one pin, so it pivoted on that and broke through the epoxy, and I'd never used a sharp knife, and so I bought some flex cuts. Now the flex cuts were good. I loved the flex cuts for a while there because that's all I knew. I hadn't tried anybody else's blades. Since then, I've done Helvey, I've done Drake. I prefer Drake. That's my own personal choice. I like the balance and the sharpness really of the Drakes. A little bit more than I like the Helveys, although the Helveys do get used. My flex cuts now are rarely used. They're my spare knives that if I have anybody that wants to carve with me, then they get to use my flex cuts. But having done the power tools in a big way, you see Miss China, she's wandering around. She's laying over there in the heat at the moment. Yes, the power, they do the work quickly. On a large scale, use of power tools is how I would do things. Now, using knives and tools, I'm actually appreciating doing it slowly by hand now, because I came into this as a power carver, and I have all of these tools that will do the same as what I can do with knives, and just on a bigger scale. I've got the wood for bigger scale. I just haven't done any of it. A lot of the wood that I've got has got to dry out, and an inch a year. I've got a few years before I can use some of them. I've got a whole load of plum, a whole load of apricot. I didn't paint the ends, so they are cracking. I've learned since getting them. Where are we? Howdy, Mike. Good, I've scrolled to the end. I should give up smoking, not because it's bad for me, but because I can't keep the bloody filters in them. I roll like a moron. and it won't go back in this time. Oh well. Yes. What do you gain from using hand tools? Patience. You gain accuracy. Skill and accuracy comes from using the power from using blades, gouges, and V-tools. I like them. I couldn't have done my relief carving with the power tools. I just couldn't have done it. It's just not possible on that scale. Could I have done it with a Dremel? Maybe. It's certainly when you're dremeling and you want a straight line. If you haven't got a guide, then power has a tendency of wandering on you. Even with my routers, it's like, oh shit, I've ruined that piece of wood. The routers come out the side. Unless everything is guided power tool wise, it's just chaotic. With a blade, you have accuracy and detail, and you cut what you want to cut. With a power tool, you end up with what you end up with. So coming over to knives, if I use my power tools on a much larger scale now, then when it comes to the detailing of eyes, teeth, noses, because I always carve faces, the blades are much better. I can get in there and tap, 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 tap. And I have a sense of well, I hit nirvana. I hit kind of a heaven-like feeling when I'm carving chip by chip. All my mind is thinking of is how much do I take off here, a little bit there. It's not concerned with did I leave the kettle on, is the front door unlocked. You know, it's a little bit of rapture is what I find when I'm carving with hand tools. And I'm much preferring that these days. Yes, the respect for the tools, better care, absolutely. I'm not seeing others' comments. Damn. Yes, true power tools need a guide, so you are limited. Exactly. I do say with these tools, I worked in an industry where I use power tools all the time, so I learned the safety aspects like when I was yay high. Yes, the types of tools have modified and got better over the years, but they still have that thing that if it's not guided, then it's chaos. Blades are accuracy and accuracy and your skill level goes up using the blades. But one of the bonuses that I found is by using hand tools is that my use of the power tools has got better. I'm aware now that it's chaos and that I need to use guides to get the effect that I want. Routers need templates. Chainsaws can decide to go slightly, they choose a path of the least resistance. So they are very handy. Do you clean and do maintenance on your power tools? I do sometimes when I really have to, but generally speaking, I mean, you've seen them. My chainsaw is a little bit grubby. Most of them have got dust on them. Yes, I do maintain them. You have to. Brushes go in the grinders. That's something that has to be replaced. The same with the hand drill. Paul Sellers and various knife makers. I can now make some of my own hand tools as well, like small carving knives and hand planes and whatnot. I think I'm on Homies. I've got four with blades that need to be shaped and sharpened. I've done 2 complete. They are sharp and usable, with the exception of there's a very small piece on the detailing blade, which is a 2-inch detailing blade, where I've actually got probably 5 or 6 mil where I didn't quite take enough material away. So it's really sharp, and then it hits a really dull blunt point. So I've got to take a file to it and reshape that little piece on there. And I really like it because having made them myself, having used the them myself, it's they're bloody handy. But you learn much better skills, much better accuracy. I got sidetracked. I read I always use a router table as much as possible. Yes, because you've got the gate, the sideline. So when you're doing the blade part on a handle, running it across the table is a lot better than doing it freehand. Freehand, it spins out. When things spin at a fast rate, you've got to make sure that everything's locked down. Don't allow it to wander. I've touched my hand. I've caught it, my finger on it. The big one. Stay there. This one with the industrial wood remover. I actually touched that with the tip of my finger while it was spinning. I lost, I don't know, about an eighth. I'm not giving you the finger, no. I managed to go across the top. I don't know if it shows. Anyway, I ended up with a groove. And literally just went ding, that's all I did, and I just managed to touch it. Now, I've been using these things for ages, and I've never done that before, but it just eradicated a nice chunk of my finger. I was lucky. I actually, when I did it, I thought, oh no, there goes my finger. Shit. Hospital. It wasn't that bad. It was only a ping, but for a second there, my heart leapt up. I tried to grab the asphalt with my sphincter. I shat myself. But fortunately, all I'd done was just nip the end of the finger. David likes using power. Totally understand why. Blast the air compression to blow the dust off them. Good idea. They last longer when you maintain them. Absolutely. Think of one of them brace drills you got. My wheels turning. Oh, good. Featherboard. Yes, featherboard. That's another one. Whether or not you cut one or whether or not you buy one, lots and lots of cuts down a piece of wood so that you've got kind of movement in the grain, and that allows you to feed through. I use my router table a lot when I'm using power. I don't think, apart from when I did the 16 heads last October, I think it was the last time I really used these. The Dremels I use occasionally. The die grinder I use occasionally. But the rest of the tools have kind of sat crying that I've gone over to hand tools, because when you've got this many power tools and gadgets, and I mean, I've got more gadgets. I just brought out these ones. I've got different gadgets for lots of different machines, and I have used them all. I do use them all. I just have gone over to small stuff for the time being. But I looked up today. There's 10 challenges I haven't done. There's 10 units that I haven't finished yet. Santa. Don't know why I haven't done Santa, but I haven't. Haven't done the Santa. I haven't done the cane. The cane's coming. I've got the wooden stuff. I will be using the tool that I took the top of my finger off with. I'll be using the mini grinder when I do the snake cane. I'm going to do a snake cane. I probably will use the chainsaw as well, enabling me to get to the shape. I've got a 4x4 in there. That's about 6 foot long, 5 foot long, about 5 foot long. I'm going to have to measure it. I think I'll probably make a walking stick, rather. What do you call it? Yeah, it would be a hiking stick. And I want to do the snake up of it. I want to do that big scale, and I'll video that. So we've got a video in BWC of how to make a snake cane. Now, we're pretty much up on the end of my hour. I shouldn't be allowed near power tools. I like all my fingers. Yes, kinetic energy by virtue of being in motion may be erratic. Yep. Ah, Kristen joined. Welcome. Now, yes, we're on the. It's now 1:30 here. and it's 10 o'clock there, so this is the end of the power tool session. I know it wasn't as interactive because, well, these are a bunch of tools that knife people don't use. So I guess really this one is an eye-opener as to what power tools there are. Certainly the saber-tooth bits, I mean, having them in this size, it's a shame that there weren't, oh, that's when I go down there. It's a shame that I wasn't able to get Dremel ones, all for the die grinder, but like I said, I was very lucky to score these, really, really lucky, and I'm very grateful to Martin for selling them to me for a really cheap price. I will see you all next week. Yes, snake walking stick like the one this fella makes. If he's the one that gets his dog to get the hat, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing, something like that. I won't do it live because I don't want to subject you to, the reason why I've not plugged any of these in is because of the noise. Not so good. Thanks, Cole, always value your input. Well, I hope it helps. I do these always thinking, I've got to do it live, I'm scared, panic. It's 4 AM there, yeah. And what part of Australia do I hail from? I'm in Adelaide, or Deadelaide as I call it. That's Deadelaide. People that like it here call it Radelaide. I call it Deadelaide because it's God's waiting room. You only come here to wait to die. There's not much goes on in South Australia, but we've got beautiful weather. He points in the wrong direction. I always do that because the camera's like, I'm pointing over there, and yet the camera says I'm pointing over there. Bloody confusing. Thanks, brother. Definitely help with the motivation. Hey, look, David, we do, like, I read everything that everybody wrote. I struggle sometimes. I'm in a bit of a struggle now because it's the choice of what to do. I refrain from watching other people's videos and YouTubes. I watch videos that come up in BWC, but generally speaking, I stay away from doing that because I don't want to be influenced by other carvers as to how I carve. I'm trying to develop a style, and it's a bit detrimental. I don't like copying other people's work, really, is what it comes down to. So a lot of it really is self-taught. And then I share with you guys how I did it, where I got it from, what's on YouTube to help others. But I rarely watch those, and I don't necessarily do the things. I've got a couple of books which I'm going to go through and do. Finding the motivation I find mostly in BWC. Like doing the lives. I do this because, not because I want to sit in front of the camera and waffle for an hour, but because I believe it helps. I know that I need encouraging, I know I need motivation, I know I need inspiration, and you guys give it to me by carving, by putting up your carves, by interacting by our chats. We don't go too far off topic in the group, but there is an area that we can speak about our lives, our pains, our it's family discussion. And that post that I put up yesterday, the responses on there just touched my heart, and you, David, was one of them, because I know what it feels like. You've moved, you're in a new area, you haven't got established carving already in your new environment. Your koala is coming on so well. I mean, I love it because koalas, of course, they resonate with me in my country. Seeing them live, having one up decide to come and visit me in the tree, your one reminds me of that. So for me, it's very heartwarming, and I really want to see the end of that. And I hope that the WC and myself contribute to your motivation, so that you go, you know what, Colin wants to see this done, so I'm going to push through my lack of motivation and I'll get it done so that Colin tells me how great and wonderful it is. That really helps. I look at them and I think, wow, look what he did, I'm going to go and do something. And this is how the motivation is contagious, and I love it. PwC has slowed down a little bit in the last 2 weeks, I suppose. by promoting certain other groups. I see a lot of our members posting in other groups and not so much in BWC, which is a shame. It's why I don't like to advocate other groups, but Beavercraft, for example, helped us out no end with our competitions and stuff, although they kind of have now got the floor for that. They've got a group. They're going to be doing giveaways. I can't compete with that. I might contact some of the bigger, better companies, or some of the slightly more expensive companies. I might approach FlexCut and see if we can maybe get some giveaways in the group from them. I continue to knock my head against the wall as to what we can do to spruce up BWC, to keep the members here. Somebody said to me, if they go to other groups, they learn, but oftentimes people go to other groups and they never come back. But we've got lots of new carvers, so we're going to focus on them as always. Sorry you're not getting any sound. My microphone seems to be working. I'll have to go on the vid screen and turn up the volume. Okay, most definitely, buddy. Excellent, Dave. I'm going to go through this funk pretty soon. I'm sure you will. You'll just blast it out the way. Sent you things I made on Messenger, mate. Cool. Yeah, cool. Happily put them in the feed. Then everybody gets to see them. But yeah, carry on sending. That's not a problem. If you're seeing other members' replies on this live chat, mouse over the video, look down in the lower right-hand area. There are a few buttons that pop up. One of them turns chat on and off. Okay, I didn't know that. I'm on my cell phone, but we're all now on my laptop. Okay, when you mouse over it, it says click to hide comments and reactions. Ah, okay, I don't have that. Anyway, I am 6 minutes over, so I'm going to say adios. Notice it doesn't show you my bald spot. And I will see you next week. Hopefully, we'll come up with a topic during the week so that next week we discuss something more with regards to it. You have a bloody good week. You have safe and happy carvings this weekend. Carve a little something. Put it up on the feed. And I'll see you later when I push the buttons. Yay! No.